Alright, sorry guys. So 2 can't go into 12, or 2 can go into 12 6 times, and 2 can go into 20 10 times, right? Alright, so keep going. I could pull out another 2. Remember, these are all prime. You're not going to put any non-prime numbers here. So 2 can go into 6 3 times, and 2 can go into 10 5 times. Well, I've hit 2 prime numbers. That means I stop, alright? So I want to find my greatest common factor. I'm going to circle these on the left column. Only those for greatest common factor. So 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. Times 2 is 16. So my GCF is 16. Alright? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in my... Sorry, it's hard to write like this. I'm going to set it up in my equation, right? And I'm left with 2 prime numbers up here. So I'm going to put these as my add-ins. Got it? Alright, so that is your factoring of using GCF and your distributive property. If you wanted to check yourself, you could. So you would distribute 16 to 3. So you'd have to multiply 3 and 16. You'd get 48. And then distribute 16 to 5. And you would get 80. Check. Alright, moving on to number 10. Alright, so I'm going to flip the page. I would like a new sheet. Sorry guys, bear with me. Alright, number 10. Okay, so number 10 reads, alright, so it says divide 3/5 divided by 4 and 1/4. So I'm going to copy that here. 3/5 divided by 4 and 1/4. Now I know we started that today, so what I want to do first is take all my fractions that are mixed numbers and make them into improper fractions. This one is good. This is not a mixed number, so I'm going to take it down here to divided by, and then let's go ahead and make 4 and 1/4 an improper fraction. So remember how we do this is 4 times 4 is 16, and then I'm going to add 1 to that product, which is 17, and then I keep 4 as my denominator. So 17 is my numerator and 4 is my denominator. You guys see where I got that? So 4 times 4 is 16, plus my numerator, 17. That becomes my new numerator down here, and then 4 stays my denominator. Now, for division, there's one thing I gotta do, and this is all you guys gotta remember, alright? So keep, change, flip. So this becomes 3/5. I keep that. I need to change my division, so that becomes a multiplication, because it's the opposite. And I want to flip 17 over 4, that becomes 4 over 17. Now, I'm going to go ahead and multiply because I'm good to go. I've set it up and I'm ready. So 3 times 4 is 12, and then 5 times 17 is 85. Now I can't reduce that, so my answer is 12 over 85. Alright? So simple as that. Alright, let's move on to number 11. If I'm flying, you guys pause as you need to. Alright, so let's look at number 11. It says, the directions read, use the GCF and distributive property to find the sum of 60 and 72. The student wrote 4 parentheses 15 plus 18 end parentheses. Is the student right or wrong, and why? So let's go ahead and check our work. So I'm going to copy 60 and 72 on my paper. So my first step is what? If you said find the GCF, that is correct. Because I want to verify that 4 is my GCF. Okay, because she already solved it. I'm just wanted to see if she's right. So I'm going to pull out a, let's see. I'm going to pull out a 2. So that's a 30. Give me 1 second. And I'll show you guys, because you can actually, you don't need to pull the GCF first, but if you wanted to, you could. So you could work this way. I'll show you an easier way next. All right. So that is 36. All right. So I'm going to pull out a 3, because 3 works, and that's 10, and that is 12. All right. I'm going to pull out a 2. 2 goes into 10, 5, 6. That's a prime. I've hit that, and I can't really go anymore, right? So let's go look. Now, let's multiply these numbers together. So 2 times 3 is 6, times 2 is 12. 12 is my GCF, and then 5 and 6 go inside my parentheses. Now, she got 4 times 15 plus 18. So let's check our work. Let's distribute. Let me see, you guys can't see that. 12 times 5 gives me 60, and distribute the 12 to the 6. 12 times 6 gives me 72. Now, I'm correct, but she is too. However, is 4 my greatest common factor? No, and you guys could have seen that because we worked it out over here. So again, if you go ahead and distribute, let me focus. If you distributed 4 to 15, you would still get 60. If you distributed 4 to 18, you'd still get 72, but 4 is not my greatest common factor, right? We can see that 12 was. All right, moving on to number 12. All right, so number 12 reads 3 1/3 divided by 1 5/12. So I'm gonna copy that on my paper right here. 3 1/3 divided by 1 5/12. Now, I want to make these into improper because I don't want to deal with mixed numbers. So again, 3 times 3 is 9, plus my numerator, 9 plus 1 is 10. Keep my denominator, keep that, we'll fix that later. Let's go ahead and change this to an improper. Again, denominator times my whole number, so 12 times 1 is 12. Then that product plus my numerator, 12 plus 5 is 17. And then I keep my denominator. So you guys should have got 10 over 3 divided by 17 over 12. All right? So now what I need to do is what? If you said keep, change, flip, you are correct. Keep, change, flip. Now I want to keep 10/3. I'm going to write it over here. That way y'all can see that. All right? 10 over 3. Change my division to multiplication and flip this. 12 over 17. Okay? Now, I can go ahead and multiply across, and I get 120 over 51. Can I change this into a mixed number? Yes. So 51 goes into 120 about 2 times. And that gives me 102. So 51 times 2 is 102. Now, my difference between 102 and 120 is 18. That difference goes right there. And then you keep 51, your denominator, keep that there. Now, so your mixed number is 2 and 51/51, I believe that's how you say that. Now, this can actually be reduced. So I keep 2 as my whole number, but 18 and 51 have 3 as a common factor. So 3 goes into 18 6 times, and 3 goes into 51 17 times. So that's my official answer for number 12. Now, number 13. We're going to keep moving on. Let me scoot this over. All right, number 13 reads 7/8. Oh, sorry. Where are we? 7/8 divided by 2. So 7/8 divided by 2, I'm going to write that on my paper. Alright, so I want to do keep, change, flip. Now this 2, it can also be written as 2 over 1. Alright? Because 2 divided by 1 is still 2. So I'm going to keep 7/8, I'm going to flip this, and I'm going to change 2 over 1. And I get 7/8 times 1 over 2. Now, I can go ahead and multiply across. So 7 times 1 is 7. 8 times 2 is 16. So you should have got 7 over 16. Alright? So moving on. Let me get my other sheet of paper. Number 14. Alright, so number 14 reads 4/5 4/5 divided by 2/9. Alright, can you see that? If not, I will write it on my paper. So 4/5 divided by 2/9. I want to change this, okay? So 4 over 5, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to change this, and I'm going to flip that, okay? So 4/5 times, because multiplication is the opposite of division, 9 over 2. Good so far? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply across. 4 times 9 gives me 36. 5 times 2 is 10. Now this is an improper fraction. I want to go ahead and make it a mixed number. 10 goes into 36 3 times. So 10 times 3 is 30. My difference from 30 to 36 is 6. That becomes my numerator. And 10 stays my denominator. Okay? So that I can also reduce, because 6 and 10 have a common factor, right? 2. So 2 goes into 6 3 times. And 2 goes into 10 5 times. So my actual answer is 3 3/5. You can definitely go back and make sure you're correct by doing 5 times 3, which is, wow, 15. 16, 17, 18 over 5. But I think that's the reduced of this. So you're still correct, all right? Now, let's go to number 15. Number 15 is, it reads, how much trail mix will each person get if 6 people share 3/4 of a pound of trail mix equally? Now, 15, the way you set that up is 3/4 is actually your dividend divided by 6 people, which is your divisor, right? Now again, if you see a whole number, it can also be written as 6 over 1, right? So, I want to rewrite this. Keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. Keep 3/4. I want to change division to multiplication. And I want to flip 6 over 1 to 1/6. Alright, this is ready to go ahead and multiply across. So 3 times 1 gives me 3. And 4 times 6 gives me 24. Can I reduce this? I sure can. 3 can go into 24 how many times? 8 times. And 3 can go into itself 1 time. So everybody gets 1/8 of a pound of trail.